Today we're going to talk about reading comprehension. In particular, we're going to talk about comparative reading comprehension. This was the biggest change to the law school admission test that was made since it went to the 120 to 180 scale back in 1991. It was first introduced to the test in June 2007. And because of that, the Law School Admission Council has made it available on their website, lsac.org. You can download it right now as a PDF file. You don't have to, but if you want to, you can take a minute to stop, copy it, and read along as you follow along. Now that you've decided whether or not you want to read along as you follow along, I'll go to page 24 to 26. And I'll come upon the comparative reading. I'll find 2 passages over here, and I'll find 6 questions after that. Here's a question for you. Where are the answers? Are they over here? Or are they over here? The answers are over here. The passage can be used to justify the answers, but the answers are over here. Who wrote the answers? The very same person who wrote the questions. So if I want to find out what the passage is about, if I want to find out what the answers are about, I read the questions first. And I do it with my technology. I have testing for the public highlighter. You can use any old highlighter, and you can put it in your plastic bag and bring it in. You can highlight the key phrases that show up in the questions that tell you what the passage is about. Question 10 talks about the relation of music to. And question 12 talks about questions regarding musical capacity in humans. This is the theme. But I can then go to the passages to confirm that. I can use that same technology. I can use my testing for the public highlighter if I'm lucky, and I can look for the editor's footprints. And since I'm looking for questions, we can look for the editor's footprints, because every time the editors ask you a question, they put a little mark there to point out where it is. We call it the question mark. The second line of the first passage has a question mark. It says, did music and human language originate separately or together? The second passage, you go down to the third paragraph and there's a question mark. It says, what evolutionary advantage would such behavior have? Those questions are the questions of the theme. Then we take advantage of one of the most basic ideas that testing for the public has, and that is that when they wrote the question, they wrote the right answer first. And then they said, oh my goodness, everybody's going to see this answer. We've got to disguise it. So that's what wrong answers are, is they're disguises for the right answer. So what we do is we scan to see if we could find 2 answers that look like each other, because if we found 2 answers that look like each other, we might have found the first 2 answers that were written. And if we found the first 2 answers that were written, we know that one of them is the right answer, because they always write the right answer first. So we look at A and C. What evolutionary advantage? What are the evolutionary origins? Pretty similar. But answer A is talking about hominids. And I remind myself that I'm going to law school. I'm not going to hominid school. Don't pick super scientific answers on super scientific passages on the reading comprehension or the logical reasoning. I don't want to pick hominids. Answer D is about neurological systems, and I don't want to go to neurological school either. Answer B is about music, but what's it really about? Why do human mothers and infants engage in bonding behavior that is composed of musical elements? And I remind myself I'm going to law school. I'm taking the LSAT so I can be a lawyer. And that means the answers to the LSAT have to be boring and flat and uninteresting and unemotional. Do you know any lawyers? Don't pick answers about mothers and infants engaging in bonding behavior in the LSAT and expect to go to one of the top law schools. Answer E talks about why are most people more adept at using language than they are at making music, and most is a word I'd have to justify. What's answer C say? What are the evolutionary origins of the human ability to make music? What was question 12 about? It was about the musical capacity in humans. It was about our theme. But we can take advantage of how nice the nerds are, because the nerds have a great scourge. The great scourge of the nerds is 5 answers every question, every section, every test, every day. They go nuts doing it. They've only got 62 half lines. They've got to come up with 24 wrong answers. They can't come up with 24 different wrong answers, so they keep coming up with the same wrong answers over and over and over again. It's what we call the bad joke. The bad joke wasn't such a bad joke the first or second time you hear it, but about the 100th time you hear it to say, this is a bad joke. It's never time to pit the bad joke on the LSAT because we're looking for the theme. Question 10 talks about the relation of music to. Answer A is about bonding. Answer D is about hominid infants. That's 2 bad jokes rolled into one. Answer C is about neurological research. Those are bad jokes. Answer E is about the use of tools to produce sounds. Do you think that's the sort of thing that they ask on the LSAT to have you think about? Or is it a nice little sing-song answer like the relation of music to answer B, human emotion? Second sentence of the first passage talks about communicating emotions, and the next passage is all about lullabies and mothers and infants and lots of emotion. That's our theme. 11. It can be inferred that the authors of the 2 passages would be most likely to disagree over the theme. Answer A is about hominid. Answer B is about neurological. Answer E is about mother-infant bonding. Answer C and D are left. They have to disagree. Answer C. Do they disagree that brain size increased dramatically over the course of human evolution? Do you think so? Or do they disagree that the capacity to produce music has great adaptive value to humans? Wasn't the theme on 9C, what are the evolutionary origins of human ability to make music? Wasn't the question on number 12 about the musical capacity in humans? And isn't the answer on 11 about the capacity to produce music has great adaptive value to humans? It's the theme. But they disagree. Question 12. The author was most likely to agree on which of the following questions regarding musical capacity in humans. They have to agree, but they have to agree about the theme. Answer A is about infants. Answer B is about mothers and infants. Answer D is about neurological. Answer E says, why does it vary so greatly among different individuals? Remember we had 9E that says, why are most people more adept at using language than they are at making music? It's sort of a silent bad joke that's running through. The authors have to agree. Look at answer C. Is it at least partially responsible? Does anybody want to disagree? Is it at least partly responsible of the result of the evolutionary increase in brain size? How could you disagree? Question 13. Which of the following principles underlies the argument? This is a very abstract answer. It's the thing that you have in the LSAT logical reasoning questions as well. It's an abstract answer that has a principle that fits the facts, but it's a theme. Answer A is about non-humans. I guess they exist. Answer B is about all human capacities can be explained in terms of the evolutionary advantages they author. And all is an extreme word that I think I'd have trouble justifying. Answer C is about neurological. Answer D is about neurological. Look at answer E. The behavior of modern-day humans can provide legitimate evidence concerning the evolutionary origins of humans. Yes, it can. 14. Which of the following most accurately characterizes the relationship between the 2 passages? Passage A and answer B use different evidence. Some of it's neurological, some of it's hominid, some of it's infants and mothers to draw divergent conclusions. Didn't question 11 tell me they disagreed? Oh, there were 2 passages if you wanted to really read them. But it's much different than choosing answers, isn't it?